And a very good afternoon and welcome to Tattersfield, the home of Doncaster Rugby League Football Club for this afternoon's Stonebridge Championship game in the first division between Doncaster and Featherstone Rovers. The Rovers side just coming out onto the field, conquerors of Whitehaven last Sunday in the Challenge Cup quarter-finals. Playing Leeds in the semi-final at Ellen Road. But back to the Stonebridge Championship game here this afternoon at Tattersfield. The Rovers team, number 1, Carl Gibson, 2 Ikram Butts, 3 Brett Rogers, 4 Darren Hughes, 5 Frederick Bankay, 6 Brendan Toolter, 7 is Mark Aston, and in the forwards got number 8 Steve Malloy, the captain, number 9 Graham Sutherwood, 10 is Leo Casey, 11 Daniel Debay, 12 Gary H. Price and 13 Neil Roebuck, with substitutes being number 14 Mark Nixon and 15 Joe Nadioli. The Doncaster team just come out onto the field. Number 1 Mark Farrer, number 2 Leo Williamson, 3 is Brad Hayes, 4 is Matthew Foster, 5 is Andy Rothwell, 6 is Alex Green, 7 Barry Eaton, 8 Simon Tufts, 9 Brendan Carlisle, 10 Gordon Lynch, 11 Audley Pennant, 12 Sonny Wackeroo and 13 Colin Maskell, with substitutes number 14 Johnny Evans and 15 Matt Tomlinson. Your referee for today is Mr. Alan Bates, all the way from Carlisle up in Cumbria. So there we are, just mentioned there that Rovers through to the semi-final of the Challenge Cup, the Silk Cup Challenge Cup that is, with the play Leeds in a fortnight today's time, fortnight just today, April the 1st. But it's back to the art stuff now in the Stones Bidder Championship First Division. Survival's the test for these two clubs. Doncaster Lion second from the bottom of the table, Featherstone Rovers 4th from bottom. So both sides really desperately needing 2 points from this afternoon's match. And you can feel the atmosphere now in this crowd. We've got a contingent of Doncaster supported below us here on the gantry, and they're getting behind their team. But Featherstone Rovers, their away support this season, have absolutely been fantastic. More so now that Rovers have got all this way. They're on an high, really, Featherstone. 5 out of 6 they've won in the last 6 matches. And they're really on an high at the moment, Featherstone Rovers. Mark Aston getting ready to kick this ball off in this match this afternoon. David Ward, the Rovers coach, just having to make 1 change from last week. Butch Sims got a groin injury, so Leo Casey comes up in the first 13 and Sonny Wackeroo drops back into the substitutes bench. So it's Doncaster first touch of the ball, just on their own 20-metre line. That's good defence, that. By Rovers, so it's Doncaster trying to bring this ball out of their own on half of the field. Sonny Wackeroo there, getting that ball back inside. Big Simon Tufts there, Featherstone Rovers ex-player. So ball back there to Alex Green. Alex Green there, that big kick downfield. And Carl Gibson there, as the Doncaster supporter just said behind me, and made a right hash of that. So that's first pressure by Doncaster on this Featherstone Rovers defence. It'll be Mark Aston with the drop kick attempts from underneath his own post. So Mark Aston playing against a strong wind in the first half. So number 9 there, Brendan Carlisle, and Simon Tufts with the ball there. So it's Brendan Carlisle, gives the ball there to number 10, Gordon Lynch. Gordon Lynch, that big drive in just inside that Rovers 20-metre area. So it's Colin Maskell now. Colin Maskell there to Barry Eaton. Barry Eaton there just takes the tackle. So it's Colin Maskell. Change of direction, Colin Maskell going for that corner, but that's good defence by Rovers. Gary H. Price is, I think, who made the tackle in that far corner. So it's Alex Green. But good defence by Rovers. Neil Roebuck there just half stopping the play. Danny Debay making sure. So Colin Maskell, a drop kick attempt. Ball just going under the post this time. Carl Gibson takes the ball over his own try line. Referee quite rightly takes the ball on the full. So it's a drop out from their own 20-metre line. So it's Leo Casey. First touch for Featherstone Rovers in this game. Doncaster throw everything at Featherstone Rovers in that set of 6, but Rovers defence stood firm. So penalty kick to Featherstone. That big drive in there by Brendan Toolter. Referee penalising the Doncaster player. Number 3 there, Brad Hayes, been cautioned there for that tackle there on Brendan Toter. So Mark Aston puts the ball over the stand. You could see how strong a wind is playing again this first half. So it's Steve Malloy and Doncaster caught offside. Penalty kick to Rovers. So Mark Aston just deliberating there with his captain to see what to do. They're getting a movement up here, these Rovers. So it'll be Grange Southwood to tap this ball. Big drive in once again by Steve Malloy. Just inside that Doncaster 20-metre area, so it's Southern with the ball now there to Mark Aston. Mark Aston, that long ball out there to Danny Devey. Well, that's good defence, that's by number 11 there, Audley Pennant. So it's Southern would change the direction to Mark Aston. Mark Aston now there to Brendan Toter. Brendan Toter there, trying to set that moment up, but that's good defence by Doncaster. Once again, that's splendid defence by Doncaster. That acting half-back, Mark Aston, no time to move, so it's Graham Sutherwood working the blind side. That little kick forward, it's all on. And Doncaster there having to get back to kick that ball. So it'll be a scrum down. It'll be Rovers' feed. That little kick through there by Brett Rogers there, creating havoc inside that Doncaster 20-metre area. Doncaster there really desperate measure, kicking the ball in goal. So it's Brendan Toter. Brendan Toter, that long ball out there to Darren Hughes. Darren Hughes there taking this defence on. Strong run that by Darren Hughes, standing up in the tackle. So it's Danny Devey from acting half-back. Turns the ball back inside to Graham Sutherwood. Graham Sutherwood there to Leo Casey. Leo Casey got men outside him. Takes the defence on, just couldn't get rid of the ball. So it's Sutherwood. Sutherwood there to Carl Gibson. It's Carl Gibson there, just tackling to short of that line. So it's Sutherwood. That little kick forward, it's all on. And that's brilliant play, that by Brendan Toter. Referee wiping the tackles off. Brendan Toter really... Mark Aston for Rovers. A superb dummy there by Mark Aston. But that try coming, that little kick through by Graham Sutherwood, ricocheting off a Doncaster defender. Brendan Toter put his body on the line, dive for the ball, referee wiped the tackles off, a quick play the ball, and Mark Aston there dummying to throw the ball to his right. The Doncaster defence up just like the M1, and Brendan Toter and Mark Aston there just went through it unopposed to put the ball at the side of the post. Doncaster 0, Featherstone Rovers 4. And Mark Aston, here we go with the extras. No mistake, straight between the middle. Doncaster 0, Mark Aston and Featherstone Rovers 6. What do you think to that try, Pete?
Yeah, he did very well there, Mark Aston. Saw the dummy, saw the gap, and straight under the post. Good start for Rovers.
And all was said in that sentence there by Peter O. Doncaster 0, Featherstone Rovers 6. So Colin Maskell gets the game underway for Doncaster. And Ikeram Butt there takes the awkward bouncing ball. He's in goal area, runs it out. Makes it up to his own 10-metre line, does Ikeram Butt. Now it's Gary H. Price, an Audley Tennant there, making the tackle round the bootlaces. Good defending that by Audley Tennant, so it's Sutherwood. Graham Sutherwood there, gets the ball there to Brendan Toter to Leo Casey. Up to his own 20-metre line. So it's Sutherwood. Graham Sutherwood now there to Danny Devey. Danny Devey there. But good defence that by number 12 there, Sonny Wackero. Stops him, so it's Leo Casey. Steve Malloy gets that ball, and that ball just marginally forward. If he could have just got away the pass, the first time that Toter asked him to pass the ball, but Steve Malloy just couldn't get the ball away the first time, but just delayed that pass, that split second too long, forward pass. Referee there, Mr. Bates, right on the spot. Scrum down, 10 metres inside, Rovers out of the field. So it's Alex Green with the ball. Turns the ball back inside there for Brad Hayes. Brad Hayes there tackled just halfway between the Rovers 20-metre and the halfway line. And a good art tackle that on number 10, Gordon Lynch, by Leo Casey there, and Danny Devey and Steve Malloy there closing him down. So it's Simon Tuss. Simon Tuss Big drive-in tackle just on that Rovers 20-metre line. So it's Colin Maskell trying to work the 1-2. This is brilliant play, this. Oh, and that's good defending, that. Brendan Toolter there just ankle tapping the Doncaster player through. There were men outside him. So it's Doncaster here. They've got the line out here this side. And it's play on. Colin Maskell with the ball, throwing the ball right to left. So it's Brendan Carlisle. But good Rovers defence. Andy Rothwell there looked to try score all the way, but Rovers defence cut him down. So Doncaster pressing hard on this Rovers defence. Rovers defence standing firm. Switch of direction. Colin Maskell loses the ball. Though that's play on. Ikram but picks the loose ball up for Rovers. So it's Carl Gibson for Rovers now. Just wanted to cool it down. Rovers now. Doncaster really threw everything at Featherstone Rovers in that moment. So it's Graham Sutherwood to Brendan Toolter. Brendan Toolter fights through himself through 2 tackles. But that ankle tap there at last minute. So it's Mark Astor. Mark Astor now there to Danny Devey, turning inside. Danny Devey, good ball there to Neil Roebuck. And Neil Roebuck takes the tackle there off Audley Pennant. So it's Mark Astor. Mark Astor. Penalty kick to Doncaster. Neil Roebuck there giving 2 penalties away. You can't afford to do that in this game when you've got the ball in your hands. Should have got up and played the ball. When the referee gave the penalty for him not playing the ball, he had a few words to say to the referee, and referee rightly so penalised him yet again. And now he's put pressure, Featherstone under pressure. So it'll be number 6, Alex Green, taking a pot shot at goal for Doncaster. It's still Doncaster 0, Featherstone Rovers 6. So number 6 it is, Alex Green. Just lining the ball up, looking at the post. Chance here to cut the deficits. Rovers 6 points to the good. And the ball just going by the post. Let off for Rovers, so it's still Doncaster 0, Featherstone Rovers 6. So it'll be a drop out for Mark Aston on his own 20-metre line. Like I say, he's kicking in again against a very strong wind. So it's Sonny Wackero there, takes that Hawker bouncing ball, but Leo Casey, copybook tackling by the Rovers number 10, round the bootlaces, stops him in his tracks. So it's number 10 there, Gordon Lynch, on the second drive, plays the ball back. So it's Colin Maskell to Simon Tufts. Simon Tufts, brilliant ball from Simon Tufts to number 9, Brendan Carlisle. Superb play by the Doncaster number 8 there, Simon Tufts, a Featherstone lad. Puts Brendan Carlisle under the post, and I'd honest enough, Brendan Carlisle had a lot of try against Featherstone Rovers before coming to Doncaster. It's Doncaster back in the game, Doncaster 4, Featherstone Rovers 6. So Alex Green here with the conversion attempt straight between the middle. Doncaster 6, Featherstone Rovers 6. See that try then, Peter?
Well, it seemed to be on the cards there for that last few minutes. They got close just before Doncaster, and good play by Simon Tufts there. Featherstone lad against his own town team. Good try.
So there we are, got summarising there by Peter Owen. Exactly right what he says. Simon Tufts there making that try. So Featherstone Rovers now know they're up against an hard afternoon here at Tattersfield. It's Doncaster 6, Featherstone Rovers 6. So Steve Malloy there trying to make the tackle. James Sutherwood in also at the tackle that time, helping out. So it's Colin Maskell to Simon Tufts. Coming down the middle. Taking 3 or 4 Featherstone Rovers plays to get grips on him. And Simon Tufts losing the ball. Penalty kick to Rovers. Just getting a bit frustrated with himself, Simon Tufts, and referee penalising him for it. Descent there by the big prop forward. He's just done everything right for Doncaster. Put Brendan Carline under the post for a try now. He's giving a silly penalty away underneath his own post. But I must say that although this kick's bang in front for Mark Aston, I must say he's kicking again a very, very strong wind here this afternoon. And to me, if he kicks this ball, he'll have all on getting it over the post. Because like I say, if he puts the ball up in the air, the wind will just blow it back. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. So Mark Aston lining this kick up, hoping to put Featherstone Rovers back in the lead here at Tattersfield. It's 6-all at the moment. Strikes the ball, and the ball missing the post. Like I say, it's a very strong wind. It didn't even go out in dead. That's how strong the wind is here at Tattersfield. So it's Doncaster possession. Oh, and that's a bad mistake. Number 2 there, Leo Williamson, dropping the ball on. No pressure on him at all. So it'll be Mark Aston to feed the scrum. It's out to Rovers. Mark Aston with the ball there to Brendan Toulter. Oh, looking round for support. So Neil Roebuck to Mark Aston. Mark Aston, that long ball out there to Danny Devey. Danny Devey, they just couldn't get the ball out in the tackle. So it's Mark Aston. Mark Aston now there to Neil Roebuck. Neil Roebuck, that long ball there to Darren Hughes. And Darren Hughes there awarded to knock on there. Referee rightly so. That long pass there. From Neil Roebuck there to Darren Hughes, hoping to cause the extra man outside, but Darren Hughes there just losing the ball in the flight. So mistakes on both sides in this first half of the match. Good defence there by Brendan Toulter, watching his man all the way that time. Oh, and that's another bad mistake. Rovers pick the piece up. Leo Casey taking this defence on. He'll drive that ball up to that Doncaster 20-metre line. His tackle just short. Now it's Frederick Bankay. Frederick Bankay there takes the tackle. Good defence there by Gordon Lynch. So it's Mark Aston. Mark Aston to Gary H. Price. Gary H. Price there striding out of tackles. His tackle 5 metres short of that Doncaster try line. Switch of play. Mark Aston with the ball. Mark Aston there. No, not this time. To Graham Sutherwood. Good defence by Doncaster. So it's Roebuck from acting half-back to Steve Malloy. Steve Malloy there on the 5th tackle. Tackle 10 metres short. Sutherwood with the ball there. That long ball there to Brendan Toulter. Brendan Toulter taking this ball on. Mark Aston, that's all on. That's come off a Doncaster player, has it? But the referee says no. Forward pass. Last tackle, so that'll be the changeover. But I thought that pass there was just ricocheted there off a Doncaster player. But the referee says not. So the ball have to come back. It'll be Doncaster to play the ball. Sonny Wackrow gets the game underway. Brendan Carlyle there from acting half-back on the first tackle. So it's Doncaster just inside their own 20-metre area. It's still Doncaster 6, Featherstone Rovers 6. So number 10 there, Gordon Lynch, trying to bring the ball out to the danger as they call it. At his own half of the field, ball getting back there. Oh, and that's a bad mistake. Number 1 there, Mark Farrer, knocking the ball on, but that's good pressurising by Rovers in that sequence of 6 there, pushing Doncaster back, making them play panic football. Rovers knew that they got the upper hand, got the tackles in before the Doncaster player could get the ball, kick the ball downfield, and Rovers rewarded there by Mark Farrer there, knocking the ball on just about on his own 20-metre area. Now it's Carl Gibson! Carl Gibson going for that try line. Beautiful delayed pass there by Mark Aston. That was a planned move on the first tackle. Penalty kick to Rovers. Doncaster there laying all over Carl Gibson before they could get up to play the ball. But I'm sure that Doncaster players here have saved a certain try because Rovers have got men on this side out wide. And Doncaster there, they call that professional foul if you want to do, but I think you and I will do the same in that situation. Mark Aston there getting the ball from the scrum, putting Carl Gibson through the gap. Carl Gibson going ever so near to scoring Rovers, second try of the match, tackled into short, wanted to play the ball quickly. The Doncaster defence wouldn't allow him to, and Mr Bates there awarding Rovers, and rightly so, a penalty kick. So it's Mark Aston, no mistake with that. Doncaster 6, Mark Aston, another goal for Rovers 8.
Well, since we let that try in, got on top there, and we had to come away with something, I felt there. But it could have been somebody, I thought, there, John, for that foul.
So there we are, Doncaster 6, Featherstone Rovers 8. So Colin Masco once again gets the game underway. Oh, and Rovers lucky to get away with that. That ball really ricocheting off Rovers' play. I think Gary H. Price it was, and he tried to get to the ball, but Doncaster player there just couldn't quite get to the ball as it happened. Rovers' Carl Gibson got the awkward bounce, so it's Featherstone Rovers. That's an high tackle. Very high tackle that. I think it was Sonny Wakaro, so it'll be a penalty kick to Featherstone Rovers. Mark Aston with his penalty kick towards this near touchline side. And dare I say it again, kicking against a very strong wind. So it'll be Steve Malloy, that first drive in. He gets through the first tackle. That's good driving in by the Rovers, big number 8. Once again, Steve Malloy. And so it's Gary H. Gary H there. Good play that by Gary H. and Mr. Bates there, allowing the advantage. Doncaster offside. Penalty kick once again to Featherstone Rovers. So here we go, Mark Aston pushing that ball into touch on this near side yet again. Just 10 metres from that Doncaster 20-metre line. Frederick Banquet there, just inside that Doncaster 20-metre line. That's good running by Frederick Banquet. Now it's Leo Casey. That's 2 good drives in. First by Fred Banquet, then by Leo Casey. Now it's Sutherwood, change of direction. So it's Danny Devey. Danny Devey! So near yet so far. Brilliant try-saving tackle there by Sonny Wakaro. So it's Mark Aston to Neil Roebuck. Neil Roebuck tackle 5 metres short of that Doncaster try line. So it's Sutherwood with the ball. Sutherwood there to Mark Aston, goes in, and that was an absolutely sizzling pass there by Graham Sutherwood, putting Mark Aston in there for his second try of the match. It's Doncaster 6, Featherstone Rovers 12. All the points going to Mark Aston, but Graham Sutherwood there, that was absolutely unbelievable how he got that ball away in the tackle. But he got the ball away, he did. Mark Aston scoring the try. What do you think of that then, Pete?
Right, Doncaster trying to move up that quick, that closed all his options off, but he got round his man. Good try, good backing up by Mark Aston, the star of the show.
So there we are. Doncaster 6, Featherstone Rovers 12, with the conversion to come from the man of the moment, Mark Aston. No mistake with that. 2 tries, 3 goals to his name. It's Featherstone Rovers 14, Doncaster 6. Yeah. So Colin Masco once again gets the game underway, and this time Carl Gibson gets his body behind the ball, waiting on the second bounce, picks it up on the third, runs it out, tries to reach his own 20-metre line. Good tackling that by Doncaster, moving up quickly. Well, not before Carl Gibson had made about 20 metres, so it's Frederick Banquet. That's good running by the Rovers number 5, Frederick Banquet there. Off his wing at the first play of the ball. So it's Leo Casey. Leo Casey tackled 10 metres short of the halfway line. So it's Sutherwood, Owen, Doncaster 1 miles offside there, that play of the ball. And Rovers there knocking the ball on the 4th tackle, but as I was saying, Doncaster was a bit offside there in that moment. But referee says play on. So it's Leo Williamson off his wing. So it's Audley Pennant. He's a big favourite here at the Doncaster ground. Audley Pennant being tackled here by Carl Gibson, ex-Bradford Northern player Audley Pennant. So it's Alex Green. So it's Colin Maskill. Just inside that Rovers 20-metre area. So it's Brendan Carlisle. Brendan Carlisle there switching. Brendan Carlisle nearly through the gap, but Neil Roebuck there just manages to pull him down. So it's Sonny Wakaro to Colin Maskill. To Barry Eaton. Barry Eaton there trying to work wonders, trying to get that ball inside. Red Eppie there to Audley Pennant underneath the post. Audley Pennant. That's determination if ever you saw one, and that's brought the stand down with Audley Pennant scoring. And just listen to the Doncaster supporters. It's Doncaster 10, Featherstone Rovers 14. So Alex Green puts the extras on. Doncaster 12, Featherstone Rovers 14. What do you think to that try then, Peter?
Well, great response again from Doncaster, a super try there. Maybe the tackling was a bit iffy, but all credit to Doncaster, they've come back again.
So there we are, Saints Peter. We just can't seem to shake them off, but 4 marks to Doncaster. They throw the ball out, and Brendan Carlisle nailed all but stopping him just short of the try line. They throw the ball from right to left. Brad Hayes it was, running field. Oh, and that's a good kick-off. That's a bit of misunderstanding there by the Doncaster players. Thought the ball going straight out of touch from that Mark Aston kick-off. The ball hung in the air. But at least Rovers have made 18 metres downfield. It'll be number 7, Barry Eaton there to feed the scrum. So it's out to Doncaster. So it's Matthew. Rovers being penalised for that head-high tackle, and Colin Maskell wanted to get on with the game quickly. Finds touch on this near side, and just listen to this Doncaster supporters. Colin Maskell gets the game underway, and that's good defending that by Steve Malloy. Now it's Brendan Carlisle, and what a tackle that by Steve Malloy and Gordon Lynch. So it's Brendan Carlisle looking for the openings. So it's Alex Green, nobody to pass the ball to. Doncaster just losing the way that little bit that time. So it's Brendan Carlisle to Colin Maskell to Barry Eaton. Barry Eaton there. Barry going for that try line. But that should be play on. No, referees give the knock on. That'll be the knock on. As they give Doncaster the feed. There'll be a 10-metre scrum. With Mark Aston to feed the scrum. And Doncaster player was adjudged to knock the ball on first. Referee right on the spot. So Mark Aston feeds the ball. Gives it to Brendan Toolter. Fighting to get out of his own 20-metre area. Colin Maskell making the tackle, and Doncaster caught offside. And Colin Maskell, the referee, just having words with the Doncaster loose forward. So once again, penalty kick to Rovers. Oh, Mark Aston will try to repeat what he's just done, put the ball into that far side, which he has done. Ball goes into touch, so it's Sutherland with the ball there to Steve Malloy. Steve Malloy there being tackled by his opposite number there, Simon Tuffs round the bootlaces. So it's Leo Casey. Being tackled there by Brendan Carlisle. So it's Danny Devey, look for the halfway line, Danny Devey. Got a strong run that by Danny Devey, just couldn't unleash the ball there to Neil Roebuck. So it's Sutherwood. Sutherwood now there to Brendan Toolter. Oh, and that's good defending. So it's Sutherwood. And that's a bad mistake there by Gary H. Knocking the ball on. So it's yet another scrum. It'll be this time. It'll be number 7 for Doncaster, Barry Eaton to feed it. It's Doncaster 12, Featherstone Rovers 14. Still all to play for in this match. So it's Barry Eaton there getting that ball from the base of the scrum. Good defending that by Brendan Toolter. Now it's Sonny Wackero over the halfway line. Good running that by Sonny Wackero. Penalty kick to Doncaster. Rovers caught offside. So Colin Maskell really putting his butt behind that ball that time. Like I've said it, and I'm going to say it again, he's got a very, very strong wind behind him here at Tattersfield. Let's hope Featherstone Rovers can exploit this wind in the second half. So number 10 there, Gordon Lynch driving the ball in, referee finding an infringement there. And here's a chance here for Alex Green to level things up. Penalty kick to Doncaster. Raced into a 14-6 lead here at the Tattersfield, but since then Featherstone Rovers have been struggling to get hold of this ball for a set of 6. When they've had it, they seem to have lost it, and Doncaster have nearly found themselves in possession all the time of the ball, and they've clawed their way back. A brilliant try there by Audley Pennant underneath the posts, and here's a Alex Green here to try to put Doncaster in, but the ball just going wide of the post there. That's let off for Rovers. It's still Doncaster 12, Featherstone Rovers 14. So just about 8 minutes left for play in this first half. I'm sure Rovers will be wanting to just hold out in this first half and hopefully have a good half-time talk here with the coach David Ward, get their act together for the second half, and they'll be playing with a strong breeze behind them. So it's Doncaster in possession of the ball on the halfway line. So it's Simon Tufts being brought to ground there by Leo Casey, and Steve Malloy making sure the tackle gets up, plays the ball. So it's Colin Maskell, change of direction. Colin Maskell gets that ball out. This is good play. Oh, and it's offside. Penalty kick to Rovers, but it was accidental offside actually, but the ball bounced off a Doncaster player straight into another Doncaster player who was stood in front of him. The referee didn't have any other alternative but to give the player offside, even though it was accidental. So Mark Aston there puts that ball high over the main stand on the far side. So it'll be Graham Sutherwood, gives the ball there to Steve Malloy, that big drive in to Sutherwood. Back now there to Leo Casey there. We're still on the first tackle, remember. Oh, and that could be with dumping, yes, referee pulling that out. That tackle is banned now in this game of rugby league. No dumping, no putting your arms between opponents' legs. And referee there, Mr. Bates, rightly so, having strong words there with Simon Tufts. Penalty kick to Rovers. So it's Mark Aston, once again puts the ball on the main stand side, out into touch, so it's Ikram Butt. Takes the first tackle, so it's Sutherwood. To Steve Malloy, he's looking for that Doncaster 20-metre line. That's a good play, that by. And once again, that's a knock-on. Referee says play on, but to me that was a knock-on. Well, I just couldn't understand that decision, but Rovers losing the ball on the second tackle yet again, so it's Audley Pennant with the ball. And Neil Roebuck getting 10 minutes in the sin bin for an alleged holding down in the tackle, but to me it was Audley Pennant that seemed to milk that decision. So number 6 there, Alex Green, takes advantage. 10 metres inside, Rovers half of the field. So it's Matthew Fast. Ooh. Well, that's Featherstone possession. Doncaster there, losing the initiative. So it's Carl Gibson for Featherstone. So it's Mark Astor, Danny Devey. Oh, and Frederick Bankay there. Should take that pass, and Danny Devey there turning round. And need I say no more, because Danny Debay, they're giving a right roasting in French, I should imagine, Frederick Banquet that time. Says, don't do that again, Freddie. Anyway, back to play. So it's Matthew Foster. Matthew Foster, that one-arm pass inside. Good play that by the Doncaster centre, Matthew Foster. So it's Brad Hayes, I should say, on that side of the field. Gets up, plays the ball. So it's Colin Maskell spinning this ball out wide. That's a bad... Oh, and that ball fell there for Audley Pennant. That's a knock-on. But that was a lucky bounce there for Audley Pennant on this near side. That ball could have gone anywhere. Colin Maskell really throwing caution to the wind. And that pass inside, referee rightly so, went forward. So a let off for overs, so it's Mark Gasson feeds the scrum. Gives the ball there to Darren Yowes in the stand-off half position. Neil Roebuck serving 10 minutes in the sin bin, so these Rovers team will have to share this workload out for these last 5 minutes in this first half. Leo Casey with the ball. So it's Sutherwood. Sutherwood to Gary H. Price, back inside there to Steve Malloy. Tackled just short of the halfway line. Good defending that by Sonny Wackero. So it's Mark Gaston spinning the ball out wide there to Brendan Toulter. And that's play on. Carl Gibson gets back to that ball. And Featherstone Rovers in that moment trying to really play too much fancy work. Brendan Toulter there trying to throw the inside pass. The ball went in no man's land. The Doncaster player kicked it on. Referee said play on. Carl Gibson tried to pick the ball up. And referee said he knocked on in the meantime. Scrum down. So it's Doncaster. It's Alex Green there trying to bring himself through them. That Darren Yowes tackle. And once again, we're in the last 2 minutes here at Tattersfield. Doncaster putting all the pressure on this Featherstone Rovers try line. Simon Tuffs, that big drive in. Tackling just short. Well, a try for Doncaster this time. They've got men outside here. They've got men outside. Barry Eaton. And Barry Eaton there losing the ball over the try line. Superb tackling that by Rovers. They've got men loose on this side, but surely the ball should have come out wide. But number 7 there, Barry Eaton, decided to go on his own, saw the try line, but just didn't make it. Let off for Rovers, that. So it's Mark Casson feeding the scrum. It's hard to Rovers. Brendan Toulter takes that high pass there from Mark Casson at the base of the scrum. Takes 3 Doncaster tacklers on with him. So it's Frederick Banquet. And that's superb tackling that by Matthew Foster. And here's another 10 minutes in the sin bin. So number 3 there, Brad Hayes. Another professional foul. He's already done Neil Roebuck, Featherstone Rovers doing the sell thing. Now he's done Brad Hayes just before half time, that's. So both teams down to 12 men. So it's Steve Malloy. That first drive in. So it's Mark Caston there to Danny Debay. Danny Debay nearly threw the first, taps the ball to himself, rightly so. Danny Debay taking the phone back on. Danny Debay going here. Brilliant running that by Danny Debay. He's got Darren Yowes outside him. Darren Yowes cuts inside. 2 minutes left for playing this first half. I'm sure that Rose will be looking for the third try just before half time. So it's Mark Aston to Brendan Toulter. Brendan Toulter losing the flight. And Rovers wanted to get the ball out wide. Brendan Toulter throwing that wide ball out there to Gary H. Price. Just couldn't get to it. Pushed the Doncaster player out of the way. Referee rightly so judged obstruction. Penalty kick to Doncaster. So once again, Rovers losing a good position in that Doncaster 20-metre line. And number 9 there, Brendan Carlisle, not playing the ball on the correct spots. Referee rightly so awarding the scrum with Mark Aston to feed the scrum. And it's out to Rovers, to Brendan Toulter. Brendan Toulter there, tackled by his opposite number there, Alex Green. So it's Steve Malloy pushes 2 men out of the way, but Audley Pennant sticks his ground. Penalty kick to Rovers. So seconds left remain in this first half. This big drive in from Leo Casey. Doncaster will not want to concede a try in this part of the match just before half-time here at Tattersfield. They're still hanging in there. It's still Doncaster 12, Featherstone Rovers 14. So it's Sutherwood. This is the third tackle coming up to Leo Casey. To Mark Aston, to Brendan Toulter. Brendan Toulter there. To Darren Hughes. Darren Hughes there. 10 metres from that Doncaster try line. So it's Ikram Butt to Gary H. Price. Pushes one tackle out of the way. Can't be long remaining now in this first half. They're playing stoppage time, so it's Sutherwood to Brendan Toulter. Just couldn't get that ball down. Stood up in the tackle. So it's Sutherwood to Mark Aston. To Danny Devey. Danny Devey though. What's Featherstone Rovers playing it? And once again another excellent position. Goals are begging there for Rovers. Frustrations creeping in. To me the half-time motor can't come quick enough. So it's Doncaster tap penalty there. Audley Pennant running in. Tackle 10 metres inside that Featherstone half the field, and there goes the half-time ultra. I'm sure that David Ward will have a few words to say to his Featherstone players at half-time. Doncaster 12, try to Brendan Carlisle, 1 to Audley Pennant, 2 Alex Green goals in reply. Featherstone Rovers 14, all the points to Mark Aston, 2 tries and 3 goals. What do you think to half-time, Pete?
Well, a good start by Rovers, John, but this last quarter of an hour or so, hell of a lot of mistakes on both sides, panic football and everything to play for second half now.
So there we are, we'll leave it from Tattersfield. Rejoin us in the second half, half-time score, Doncaster 12, Featherstone Rovers 14. Welcome back to Tattersfield. This second half, this Stormbitter Championship game between Doncaster and Featherstone Rovers. Half-time score being Doncaster 12, Featherstone Rovers 14. So in a mistake-riddled first half, Featherstone Rovers just coming out with the spoils. They played again a very strong win. Doncaster turn now. Colin Maskell there getting the game restarted. And Leo Casey taking that talk at swirling ball in the air. Did well there, did Leo. Both sides finished with 12 minutes in that first half. Neil Roebuck 10 minutes in the sin bin, and Brad Eppie also. So it's Featherstone Rovers. Good run that by Darren Hughes to bring the ball to the halfway line. Now it's Danny Devey. Pushes Alex Green out of the way as if it didn't exist on the third tackle. So it's Sutherwood. And that little knock on. It's no looking at the referee, Graham. Definitely knocked on the third tackle. Bad mistake that. So it'll be Barry Eaton. Feeds the hole and referee won't allow that. Number 5 there, Andy Rothwell, thought he got a clear run that time. Referee says play on. So it's Andy Rothwell. Brendan Toulter there making the tackle on the Doncaster wingman, and Danny Devey there just helping out. So it's Alex Green to Audley Pennant. Audley Pennant up to the halfway line. Leo Casey making the tackle. So it's Brendan Carlisle from acting halfback. Good little weaving run by the Doncaster number 9. That's halfway between the halfway line, the Featherstone Rovers 20-metre line. Oh, and what a tackle that was by Steve Malloy there on Gordon Lynch. And once again, Steve Malloy Brilliant tackling that by Steve Malloy. 2 good hard hits that by the Rovers number 8, leading by example. So it's Alex Green and Featherstone Rovers get possession. Good defence that by Rovers, especially Steve Malloy in that set sequence of 6 for Doncaster. So it's Mark Aston to Ikrenbutt off his wing. Ikrenbutt round Andy Rothwell. So it's Ikrenbutt. He's turning Audley Pennant inside out. Has to come in. So it's Brett Rogers to Mark Aston. Mark Aston now there to Gary H. Price. Gary H. Price there. And Doncaster players offside. Referee playing the advantage. And here's a chance here. I'm sure that Mark Aston will go for 2. He's got a strong wind behind him. He's calling for the pedal still here. But no. Decides to sub up to put the ball on the far side, but Mark Aston there wanting to go for goal. Got a strong wind behind him, but deciding to play the tackles out. So it's Mark Aston. Mark Aston there to Steve Malloy. Through 1 tackle. But too many blue shirts in the way that time for Steve Malloy. So switch of direction here. Brendan Toter having to reach for that pass that time. So it's Danny Devey. Inches short. So it's Frederick Bankay to Mark Aston to Leo Casey. Leo Casey will steady things down, takes the drive, wanted to get rid of the tackle through the back door. The pass went to ground. Alex Green there for Doncaster says thank you very much, pick the ball up. So it's number 1 there, Mark Farrer, trying to bring the ball out of the danger area. So it's Audley Pennant. And Mark Aston there stands his ground, makes the tackle. Also Gary H and Brett Rogers helping out with that tackle. So it's Alex Green. Gives it to Simon Tuffs. And good defence by Rovers that time. And Neil Roebuck back on the field for Featherstone. He's done his 10 minutes in the sin bin. So Rovers back to 13. Doncaster still down to 12. So it's Barry Eaton, throws that long ball out there. So Doncaster there gets that ball there to Audley Pennant. Did well to take that pass. Looking for players inside him, but that's good defence by Rovers. Pushing Doncaster back. But on the last tackle. So that's good play. So it's Rothschild on this wing. Turning over inside out. Still going. That's good play. That's the last tackle. But number 5 there, Andy Rothwell there. Striding in fields with the ball, so it's Rovers possession now. So it's Frederick Bankay for Rovers. Gets that ball away in the tackle there to Ikrenbutt. Ikrenbutt, I bet he thought he were playing on the Blackpool stands here. That much sand there in the middle. Still it's Rovers possession. So it's Steve Malloy. Ball back inside there to Danny Devey. Danny Devey takes the tackle on the second tackle, that is. Quick play the ball. Mark Aston to Neil Roebuck. Neil Roebuck there to Brendan Toter. Brendan Toter to Gary H. Price, to Carl Gibson. Oh, and that's a trip. That's a trip. That's a trip. And number 10 there, Gordon Lynch. Just looking at the touch judge, asking for his opinion, but it was definitely a trip there on Carl Gibson. He looked to try score at that time for me, Carl. How do you see the situation, Pete?
To be honest, I couldn't see what happened, but just with the crowd's reaction, obviously there's thoughts it's a trip. Well, if it's a trip, surely it's a red card.
So there we are, where I'm in the Gintry. I saw the let come out, but referee giving Gordon Lynch the benefit of the doubt. And give Gordon Lynch the benefit of the doubt. I think he's put him on report. That's what referees can do in today's game. So look at the video after the match. The referees assess it, and if there's a case to answer, I'm afraid that Gordon Lynch will be in hot water. But to me, just seeing it with a naked eye here from the gantry, I thought it was definitely a trip on Carl Gibson. So still we'll have to wait to see what happens in the future. But here's a chance here for Mark Aston to add to his points tally this afternoon. 14 to his name at the moment. He makes it 16. It's Doncaster 12, Featherstone Rovers 16. 2 points there from Mark Aston's boot. Oh, and Doncaster there offside at that play there. That's a knock on, but surely. But Matthew Foster there thought he were going to get away lucky that time, but definitely a knock on. Referee just unsighted, asking the touch judge on the far side, and touch judge rightly so, saying the Doncaster player knocked on. But just getting back to that kick-off there by Colin Maskell, putting the ball up in the air, but before he kicks the ball off, the Doncaster players are moving off the halfway line, and I'm sure there's food for thought for the referee. So it's Brendan Toulter. Tackle just about on the halfway line, quick play the ball, so it's Sutherwood. Sutherwood there to Steve Malloy, but that's good defence there by Brad Hayes on Steve Malloy, making the perfect tackle, so it's Gary H. Got to come inside. Gary H tackle just on this near side touch. So it's Sutherwood to Mark Aston, Mark Aston to Neil Roebuck. Neil Roebuck there. That toe near the man, will he okay, so that time for Neil Roebuck to pass that ball. So it's Hardley Pennant for Doncaster. Hardley Pennant getting his momentum going. Used to play in the centres, Hardley Pennant, in his younger days. Oh, and that's a bad mistake there by Simon Tufts. That's advantage. Danny Devey picks the ball up. He's taking this defence on. Good running by the Rovers second row forward there. So it's Brett Rogers. Brett Rogers there. Cuts inside. Good little jinking run by Brett Rogers, that's weaving his way through the defence. So it's Steve Malloy. Steve Malloy taking all the Doncaster pack on. Good driving in by Steve Malloy. That's the third tackle. So it's Sutherwood to Mark Aston to Brendan Toulton. He's got men outside him. To Gary H. Gary H. Price there to Darren Hughes. Darren Hughes coming inside. Tackle 10 metres short of that Doncaster try line. So it's Neil Roebuck to Mark Aston. Mark Aston ball back inside there to Leo Casey. And good Doncaster defence. Now in for the drop goal here, Mark Aston. Back inside there, Neil Roebuck, that long ball there to Freddie Bankay on that far wing. Gets the ball back, that's back to one. Mark Aston with the ball for Rovers. Colin Maskell charging that ball now, so that's back to one. So it's Neil Roebuck to Ikram Butts. Up his opposite wing, Ikram Butts shrugs 2 tackles off, gets the ball away there. So it's Brett Rogers, has to come back inside. He'd got Carl Gibson loose on this side, but he just couldn't get the ball to him. So it's Roebuck to Leo Casey, the forward pass. Game Sutherwood there, putting Leo Casey in at the side of the post, but the referee awarding the judging the forward pass, and rightly so, it was a forward. Let off for Doncaster, but all that pressure there by Rovers, coming away with nothing. It's still Doncaster 12, Featherstone Rovers 16. With number 7 Barry Eaton to feed the scrum. And referee not happy with that scrum, I don't know, I just not let play go on because Doncaster will end up with the ball anyway. There we go. So number 1 there, Mark Farrer. Good defence by Neil Roebuck, moving up quickly. So it's Hardley Pennington once again, Neil Roebuck and Leo Casey making the tackle. Doncaster still camped in their own 20-metre area. Once again, Simon Tufts find it difficult to get out of that 20-metre area on the third tackle. So it's Barry Eaton to Sonny Wackero. Sonny Wackero gets rid of the ball away in the tackle. Doncaster there being driven back. That's the 4th tackle. Good defence this by Rovers. Now Doncaster have got a bit of room to work on this near side. Ball back inside here. Matthew Foster loses the ball in the tackle. Rovers more hungry for it. And referee will give the knock on. The first knock on, it'll be a scrum down. It'll be Rovers to feed the scrum. The rule states that there must be a clear advantage when the opposition knocks the ball on. And there were clearly no advantage that time, so referee rightly so gave the first scrum. So it's Brendan Toulter, Texas defence on. And number 6, Alex Green there, gets to grips with him. So change of direction, so it's Mark Aston there to Gary H. Price, playing on the wing now, Gary H. Good defence there by Andy Rothschild. Now it's Leo Casey. He's got through a tremendous amount of work, Leo Casey, in today's match, along with Steve Malloy. The two prop forwards have paved the way in this Featherstone Rovers attack. So it's Mark Aston. Oh, and Brendan Toulter there. Wants the ground to swallow him up in that situation. Nothing wrong with the pass. Just took his eye off the ball in the last split second, and that's all it takes in this game of rugby league. Wanted to all kinds of things with the ball, but the golden rule is catch the ball first. So Matthew Foster there just being tackled there by Brendan Toulton inside his own 20-metre area. So number 1, Matt Farrett plays the ball, so it's Andy Rothschild to Colin Maskell, and once again a good art tackle that on Gordon Lynch there by Steve Malloy. I bet Gordon Lynch has fed up of seeing Steve Malloy in this match, and Gordon Lynch here again for the ball, puts the pass on, and Doncaster on the run. It's Alex Green here, ball back inside, and that's a good interception that by Steve Malloy, and Steve Malloy here taking this Doncaster defence on. And Colin Maskell makes the tackle, but that was a superb tackle that by Carl Gibson. So it's Danny Devey now for Rovers, just about on the halfway line. Stands up in the tackle. So it's Sutherwood to Leo Casey, to Steve Malloy, is on the charge. But John Evans on the field now for Doncaster, number 14. Makes the tackle on the big fella. So it's Roebuck to Leo Casey, and Rovers just losing the way that little bit. Just a little bit disorganised that time. That's the 3rd tackle. So it's Sutherwood to Mark Aston. Mark Aston, that little dummy. Mark Aston there gets the ball to Gary H. Price. Looking for that Doncaster 20-metre line. Gets rid of the ball there to Carl Gibson. Carl Gibson through the gap. So near yet so far. Struggling to get to his feet. So it's Danny Devey. Oh, and what was Danny Devey trying to do? He shouldn't be kicking the ball in them situations. So it's Matthew Foster there for Doncaster on that far side, and Doncaster now. Good defence there by Mark Aston on Colin Maskell. So it's Alex Green taking this defence on Alex Green! Alex Green! And Carl Gibson once again miraculously pulls a try-saving tackle off. And Doncaster now throwing everything at Featherstone. Colin Maskell to Barry Eaton. Barry, that low ball out there. Gets that ball back inside to Simon Tuff. Simon Tuff kicks the ball on. Yes, this gives the try. And Simon Tuff there, that excellent thinking, brilliant thinking there by the prop forward. Knew he'd nowhere to run, dabbed the ball forward. I just couldn't see who scored the try. But Featherstone Rovers are up against it now. It's Doncaster 16, Featherstone Rovers 16. What do you think to that try then, Peter?
Well, Doncaster have weathered the storm, come down here, second time they've been down here and they've scored a try, but 2 good breaks by Alex Green before that. Again, all credit to Doncaster, come back well yet again. Simon Tuff's again, the local lad involved.
So there we go. And like Peter says, Simon Tuff's there who'll kick that ball forward, and Barry Eaton winning the touchdown. So Alex Green here. Oh, and the ball just skimming that far side of the post. So it's even Stevens back to where we started. Doncaster 16, Featherstone Rovers 16, and what a match we've got on his hands here at Tattersfield. So that was Looks to get away with that. Referee says play on. And Joe Nadioli on for Featherstone Rovers. And Doncaster now really got the tails between the legs. They've weathered everything what Featherstone Rovers could throw at them in the second half, and they've come back and they've answered in the best possible way with a superb try. And the crowd's really getting behind Doncaster. So it's Colin Maskell to Simon Tufts. We're on the last tackle. Barry Eaton with the ball now to Colin Maskell. Colin Maskell there just pushing that ball through. It's all on. But the kick there just that little bit too hard. The ball will roll dead. So it'll be Mark Aston there to tap this ball. He's looking round there at Graham Sutherland saying, come on. Let's get going. So Carl Gibson it is. So it's Sutherland to Gary H. So it's Joe Nadioli, first touch of the ball. Joe Nadioli up to the halfway line. And that's interference. Interference by Simon Tufts, I think it was. Interfering at the play of the ball. Hero 1 minute, the villain the next. Penalty kick to Rovers, Mark Aston. He'll put that ball into touch on that far side, which he does. So here's a chance for Rovers, set to 6. So Sutherland gets the game started to Frederick Bankay. Tackle just short of that Doncaster 20-metre line. Simon Tufts making the tackle. So it's Joe Nadioli. Joe Nadioli there, pushes 2 Doncaster players out of the way. That's the second tackle, but inside that Doncaster 20-metre area. So it's Gary H running at the angles. Gives it there to Danny Davey. Danny Davey back to Gary H. Gary H there. Gary H, is he going all the way? His tackle is just short. So it's Mark Aston. Gets the ball away there to Ikram Butt. To Brendan Toulter. He's got room outside him here. Oh, and that's a knock on. That'll be a knock on. Brendan Toulter wanted to get the ball out wide, but John Evans, I think it was, got his hand in between. Knocked the ball on. So it'll be Mark Aston to feed the scrum. Barry not allowing Mark Aston to have the ball. The referee says no, put the ball in again. Not while I tell you, he says. So the ball's in. Mark Aston to Brendan Toulter. Brendan Toulter to Brett Rogers, straightening up. Plays the ball to himself, rightly so, but penalty kick to Doncaster. Had a marker in front of him. Just couldn't understand there why Brett Rogers just didn't play the ball in the normal way. Got markers in front of him, but he decided to play the ball to himself. And referee, rightly so, penalises him. And that once again on the second tackle. So it's Sonny Wackrow for Doncaster now, trying to come out in his own 20-metre area. It's up to Rovers to keep him pinned in that side, that danger area. Oh, and that looked like a forward pass to me to Simon Tufts, but referee says not, but Simon Tufts losing the ball in the tackle. So that's a bad mistake by Simon Tufts. Oh, and Simon Tufts there. Lucky dear. So Mark Aston feeds the scrum. It's out to Rovers. Carl Gibson in the line out. Carl Gibson here taking this defence on inside that Doncaster 20-metre line. So it's Neil Roebuck to Danny Devey. Danny Devey on the second tackle, and the snow comes down now at Doncaster. So it's Mark Aston to Steve Malloy. Steve Malloy. Beautiful bit of passing that by Rovers, but Doncaster defence handing out. So it's Sutherwood to Neil Roebuck. Back there to Ikrenbut. Ikrenbut there smelt that try line, but he'll tackle just short. So it's Brendan Toolter to Darren Hughes. Darren Hughes there on the last tackle. It's good, brilliant tackling this. So once again, the Doncaster defence weathers the storm. Penalty kick to Doncaster. Colin Pascoe pushes that ball on the first side. So Brendan Carlisle, and once again Rovers caught offside at that penalty. And once again, Colin Maskell will pump this ball into the main stand. There it goes, over the top. So Doncaster have found themselves coming up 40 metres in field with them two silly penalty kicks by Rovers, one for offside and one, well, both for offside. So it's Simon Tufts, that big drive in over the halfway line. So yet another penalty kick. So Brendan Carlisle, and look at the snowstorm here now at Tattersfield coming down, blowing into Doncaster's face in this second half. So it's John Evans, that big drive in. I'm sure Doncaster will be looking for a drop goal. Scores a level at 16 all. So number 10 there, Gordon Lynch drives it towards them posts. So it's Colin Maskell to Sonny Wackaroo. But good defence that by Graham Sutherwood. So it's Alex Green. Ball back inside there to number 1, Mark Farrer. But on the last tackle, surely a drop goal attempt, Alex Green. We knew what were coming off. We was to cover from Rovers. Nobody charged Alex Green down. And Alex Green made no mistake. Doncaster 17, Featherstone Rovers 16. So Rovers eager to get this game started, and why not? They're playing catch-up football now, and it's Leo Williamson on that side of the field for Doncaster. So Brendan Carlisle it is, run down to the blind side. So it's Gordon Lynch, that big drive in. So Colin Maskell taking the game to Rovers like he's done all afternoon. So that little kick through, it's all on. And that lucky bounce. And it's Eaton with the ball there, but that's good defence, that's getting back by Brett Rogers. Now it's Colin Maskell, gives it to Alex Green. Alex Green there, that little kick over, it's all on. The chase is on, and this time a lucky bounce, that for Frederick Bankay that time. And Carl Gibson for Rovers now, they'll try to bring it out in his own 20-metre area. This is good running this by Carl Gibson. Stepping out to 3 would be Doncaster tackles that time, Carl Gibson. So it's Neil Roebuck. Up to his own 20-metre line, Simon Tufts makes the tackle. So it's Ikrenbut now from acting half-back. Pushes Eaton off as if he didn't exist and pushes him off again. So Brendan Toter. So it's Sutherwood. Sutherwood now there to Mark Aston. Mark Aston there putting the up and under up. But number one there, Mark Farrer getting across. Took the ball superbly. So it's Doncaster's turn to bring the ball out their own half of the field. Looking in the blind side, Matthew Foster. So it's Andy Rothwell on this side. But that's good defence, that. By Brett Rogers. Brilliant defence. So it's Alex Green. And once again, Brett Rogers and Gary H. Price makes the tackle just about on the halfway line, but on the last tackle. So it's Maskell. Maskell there just chips that ball over. Oh! Well, Frederick Bankay there going for that ball. Caught him at 6s and 7s. Really put his team under pressure that time, and once again Doncaster inside that Featherstone Rovers 20-metre line. So it's Simon Tufts. Simon Tufts, is it going to go all the way? Tackled on his back. It'll be a scrum down, 10-metre scrum. It'll be Doncaster to feed the scrum. And Rovers making a substitution. Mark Nixon coming on the wing instead of Frederick Bankay. And Doncaster get possession. Colin Maskell. So it's Alex Green. Back inside for Sonny Wackaroo. So it's Barry Eaton there. Oh, Sony gets so far. Desperate tackling that by James Sutherwood. And Rovers caught offside, so here's a chance here for Alex Green to add 2 more points to Featherstone Rovers woes. It's Doncaster 17, Featherstone Rovers 16 at this moment in time. So Alex Green hoping to convert this penalty attempt, which he does, so straight between the middle. It's Doncaster 19, Featherstone Rovers 16. So Mark Aston gets the game started. And Featherstone Rovers really up against it now. Penalty kick to Rovers. Bad mistake by Doncaster, that. Now then, what can Rovers do with this set of 6 after Mark Aston takes this penalty kick? Taps the ball. Steve Malloy takes the first drive in. And just look at them blue shirts now, Steve Malloy. Gary H takes the second drive. 5 metres short of that try line. Sutherwood there to Danny Devey. That's the third tackle. The blue shirts are swarming round the Maroons here at Tattersfield. So it's Sutherwood to Mark Aston, to Brendan Toter, to Brett Rogers. Ball back inside there to Darren Hughes. So it's Brendan Toter, and that must be a penalty kick. So it's Mark Aston to Neil Roebuck. Neil Roebuck, that little kick through. Quick thinking that by Neil Roebuck, but getting back to that Brendan Toter incident there. The Doncaster player clearly offside when he tackled Brendan Toter, but referee unsighted, set play on. And that's good play that by Neil Roebuck. So that nobody would have torn behind the Doncaster defence. That little kick through. And John Evans there just diving on that ball, and Rowe was tackling him over his own in-goal area. Danny Devey takes the eye drop out. Out of one tackle. But Sonny Wackeroo there making sure of the tackle. So it's Darren Hughes. Darren Hughes through the first line of defence. On the second tackle. Brendan Toolter on the third tackle. 5 metres short of that try line. Sutherland with the ball to Mark Aston. To Danny Devey. Back there to Graham Sutherland. To Mark Nixon. Mark Nixon tackled inches short. So it's Danny Devey. It's all on. Brendan Toolter. Just couldn't get the ball. The wind took it. Doncaster player got it. Referee says play on, and rightly so. Doncaster come away with the spills. Doncaster 19, Featherstone Rovers 16. So it's Matt Tomlinson, number 15 here for Doncaster. So John Evans looking for this halfway line, but good defence that by Neil Roebuck. So it's Alex Green. Lost the ball in the tackle. Referee says play on. Steve Malloy picks it up for Rovers. So it's Mark Nixon for Rovers looking for that Doncaster 20-metre line. Plays the ball, so it's Sutherland to Joan Adioli. So it's Sutherland to Mark Aston, to Brendan Toolter, back there to Sutherland, to Gary H. Gary H there to Ben Rogers. Ben Rogers scores the try in the corner. Sorry, Terry. Sorry about that. Brett Rogers scores the try in the corner. Brilliant play there by Gary H. Price there. And Mark Aston, Brendan got the ball out wide, and all credit to Brett Roger there. Really did well. It took some scoring that, but it's really desperate stuff there at Tattersfield. So there we go. Rovers are pointing to the good. Mark Aston goal again from the touchline. He's got the right boot on, and it's an absolutely sensational kick there by Mark Aston. Unbelievable stuff. 5 goals, 2 tries to Mark Aston's name. Doncaster 19, Featherstone Rovers 22. Well, I've got to apologise to everybody who's going to watch this video after, because I'm just getting that little bit excited over this match there. I've got in the way of 2 cameramen here. I've got in the way of our cameraman, Terry Mullins, doing the camera work today in this corner. And the Doncaster cameraman there, he's got absolutely going. Jaxie, oh, and that one, lucky with that. Caught the ball there, did well there, big Steve Malloy to take that awkward bouncing ball. He fumbled it, and while he was lying down the tackle, he caught it before it hit the floor. So Rovers in the driving seat now. No panic football at this moment in time. Big Joe Ranioli, Big Joe is on the stride, gives it to Ikram Butt. Ikram Butt there, he's going round in circle, it doesn't matter, oh, and that's a forward pass. And Big Joe Nadioli there, he got into his stride. Good backing up by Ikram Butt, but that final pass from Ikram Butt there to Brendan Toolter, just a shade forward. Referee Mr Bates right on the spot, rightly so awarding the forward pass. So Doncaster possession from that scrum. Now it's Doncaster who find themselves catching up football now. Mark Farrow with the ball. Doncaster 19, Featherstone Rovers 22. Good defence by Rovers. Neil Roebuck that time putting his body on the line, and Neil Roebuck yet again. That's good defending by Neil Roebuck. This time on Gordon Lynch. So it's Barry Eaton throwing that ball out wide on that far side. Matthew Foster cutting inside. This is good running by the youngster. We're on the last tackle, just about on the halfway line. Oh, great Sutherland there. He's cooler than what I am up in the gantry, because that seemed to be slow motion. Gets up, plays the ball. So it's Danny Devey from acting half-back. So it's Ikram Butt. Ikram Butt will look for that halfway line. He just catches it. He's just over it. But good defence that by Gordon Lynch, I should say. So it's Gary H. Price involved in that last try. What Brett Rogers scored for Featherstone Rovers. So it's Joe Nadioli. He's had some good runs since he come onto the field. That's Joe Nadioli. And he's got injured in that tackle. He gets up, plays the ball. So it's Graham Sutherwood there just pushing that ball through. The ball there finds touch in the far corner. Good little kick that by Graham Sutherwood. So it'll be Barry Eaton to feed the scrum. It's out to Doncaster. So it's Alex Green for Doncaster, gets that ball away in the tackle there. Number 4. Matthew Foster being tackled on the far side. Good defence that by Mark Nixon. Gets that ball back inside to Alex Green. Alex Green there to Barry Eaton. Barry Eaton, Doncaster throwing everything at Featherstone Rovers now, but that's good defence that by Neil Roebuck. So it's John Evans, plenty of room to work on this side. John Evans through the tackle, John Evans. Oh, and that's a last desperate ankle tap there by Gary H. Price. Saves the day for Featherstone. So it's Colin Maskell to Barry Eaton. Barry Eaton, that little kick through. It's all on, but that's good play. That by big Steve Malloy yet again. What a game he's had for Featherstone Rovers in that number 8 shirt. How many times do I keep saying that? Week after week. Danny Devey there. Takes the tackle. So it's Ikram Butts, who tried to dodge and weave his way to the halfway line, but John Evans there makes the tackle on the Rovers wingman. So it's James Sutherwood now to Joe Nadioli. He's over the halfway line. And there goes the full-time out today from Tattersfield, and it's a sigh of relief from me. It's a Featherstone Rovers victory by Doncaster 19. 3 goals and a drop goal to Alex Green, a try to Barry Eaton, 1 to try to Brendan Carlisle, and a try to Audley Pennant. In reply, Brett Rogers a try, Mark Aston 2 tries, and the difference being Mark Austin's 5 goals. Featherstone Rovers take the 2 points. How'd you see the game, Peter?
Well, I'm just really delighted that we've won. It's been a real battle here, but at least we've shown some character and come back there in that last 10 minutes and got the victory. So very pleased, but all credit to Doncaster, a great performance by them.
So there we go, both sides really hungry for the points here. Doncaster really throwing everything at Featherstone Rovers. I don't think their enthusiasm was absolutely 100%. Ian Brook, their coach, can't ask for any more from Doncaster. Featherstone Rovers a bit topsy-turvy this afternoon, but at least they've come away with the 2 points. That's all what David Butward wants. So that keeps them in the off the bottom 3 of the first division. It's Doncaster 19, Featherstone Rovers 22.